Good morning. Let me get situated here. I hope you can see me all right. I can barely see you. It is 9 o'clock in the morning on June 23. It's a Saturday. We're about 29 north by about 161 west for 3 days out of Honolulu. And I've been wondering how to start these video logs. I've actually not been wanting to because it's been a beautiful private run so far. And it's been very, very enjoyable to be in kind of my own headspace. But this morning gave me the opportunity to begin the discussion. Over the last couple of days, I've been digging around in the lockers and checking hoses and making sure we're not leaking anything from the outside, or even more importantly, in some ways, not leaking any fresh water into the bilge. And in digging around yesterday and the day before, I found that the main bilge pump, the main electrical bilge pump, this device here, which lives in the main bilge back here under the sink, was actually clicking on fairly frequently. It didn't look like any water was getting into the bilge, but it kept running. I thought it was because the float switch was just getting submerged as we would move around in the waves. But I noticed this morning it was doing it again, and the water was really clear in the main bilge. And that's unusual. We don't usually take on much water, and so the water in the main bilge tends to get murky and oily and gunky. But it was clear. So in exploring around, I found that the culprit is this device here. This is the main electrical bilge. I hope you can see it. It's an electric bilge pump that pumps 1,500 gallons per hour. What's happened is that the check valve in the bilge pump has failed. The through hull for the bilge pump is actually below the waterline when we're underway, especially in a heavy sea. So what I've done is install, and I luckily bought one of these in Mexico a year ago. Installed a through hull, sorry, not through hull, a check valve that I got in Mexico. This little valve here allows water to pass out the hose and not to pass back in. So it's been an exciting morning. You'd think I would have known too, because when I was in Mexico, a couple I was sailing with down the Baja coast had this exact problem, to the point that they sent out a mayday and had water, they said, a foot above the floorboards by the time they figured out what was going on. So I got lucky. I figured it out fairly quickly and had the wherewithal to fix it. Interestingly enough, I have an extra bilge pump like this that in Honolulu I rigged up as an emergency bilge pump. An extra bit of hose I bought at Home Depot, fairly flimsy but it'll do, and a long electric cable with a clip on it so I can clip to the battery in case we start taking on heavy water. So I was fortunate in the sense that I had this extra piece of hose I could just splice right in. So that's been the morning. It's been a little more exciting than maybe I would have wished, and certainly a lot wetter and greasier, but I'm pleased that we have a solution ready-made, and I'm pleased that I can now, after I get the hose clamps on, I can go about having my breakfast. So that's the first video log for today. I promise it's beautiful outside, and I'll show you what it looks like outside before we leave this lovely trade wind sailing weather. That's all.